Well, did you know that pretzels have a history and a multicultural twist? Well, here to share more during National Pretzel Month is our friend, celebrity historian Raffi Antonian. Hey!
Hey!
Hey.
Tell us
what
about
a pretzel
pretzels.
time. That's right.
Tell me more.
Well, pretzels have many different cultural iterations over time, historically speaking. The basic ingredients are water, flour, salt, and yeast. You'll always find that in common. They start actually in the Catholic Church because when you would observe Lent, for example, back in the day it was even stricter. So it wasn't just no meat, but it was also no fish, no dairy, no eggs. And so you'd find other things to be able to eat, right? So, and also, by the way, side note, we think of monks and beer. Who knew pretzels and beer go together since a long time ago, right?
Yeah, what a
That's
history.
made in heaven.
Yeah.
But there are many different cultural ways that it gets twisted up and used in different ways, right? So here what I brought is my family's pretzel recipe.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah, believe it or not. So my family, or this segment of it, came from the Ottoman Empire, who, by the way, the Ottomans, when they were invading Austria at some point several centuries ago, it was the Austrian pretzel makers that found the Ottomans underneath, trying to dig tunnels underneath because of the bakeries that they had. And because of that, in Austria, there's a coat of arms to the pretzel makers, believe it or not.
Wow, I think we just saw that.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
my
right.
gosh.
And
That's
so,
crazy.
but my family was on the Ottoman side, and they were making these pretzels at different times.
Hey, I would dig a tunnel to eat pretzels.
Same.
So let's look at this. This is the
Okay.
ball of dough that we have.
Okay.
Now, it's not just the water, flour, salt, and yeast, but my family's version also adds black caraway seed, which is what we have here.
Yeah.
And maleb, which is a seed that is crushed to create a certain spice. So these two extra pieces are make it my family's version, a little bit different regional version. We have Crisco to kind of glue it and oil it together
Okay.
as well.
Bring it together, okay.
So this has been rising for a while. Let's get a little piece.
So,
It rised for
Okay,
maybe,
all
it was rising for,
much?
let's say, half an hour.
Okay.
Get a bunch. We're going to try to make a little ball. Now, this thing, dough can be.
Man, that's sticky.
I know, dough can be a little bit moody. So we're going to see
I don't know
if
if
we
it's
can
ever
actually
gonna
make a
come
ball.
off
I
my
don't know if I'm yeah, do it either. And so what you're aiming for is to make one of these balls.
you're
I don't know,
aiming
I'm not
for-
doing so well over
Yeah.
here. See, my family would be ashamed.
Yeah.
And so what you're
Can't wait
aiming
till they see
for
this.
is a nice little ball, okay, as best you can. Now, this is a little bit sticky.
mine.
But we're going to do the best we can here, right?
Mine's perfect. What are you talking about?
And then,
never
once
getting
you
this
do
off.
that,
Oh
you're going to let the
my,
balls sit there so the flavors make friends for a little bit, okay?
Okay.
Okay,
And
flavors
so when they
making
make friends for maybe, let's say, half
Hey,
an
you're
hour,
pretty
an
good,
hour.
Mac.
That's right. You
I don't
did
know what
actually
to do with
pretty
our
good.
hands now.
Okay, so you want to look at these balls. Now what we're going to do, grab one of the balls. Let's pretend that this rides for a while, okay?
Okay.
So just grab one of the ones. Mackenzie, you get yours because you did a good job.
Can I grab one of the
okay?
pre-made
Sure,
balls?
you can make one of the pre-made ones,
I'll
of
try
course.
to grab
Okay, now we're going to get this, and we're going to try to get them to be more like, oh man, I'm not doing a good job at all,
It's
but you want to
literally
make it
just
look like a
rubbing together.
baton. I know, it's just
Okay,
rubbing
so
together.
you like
funny.
So
you
eventually,
roll it in your hands.
roll it in your hand until eventually it becomes a long, thin stick, okay? About 8 inches long and equal in its thickness, right? Look at that. You're not doing a good job.
no
This is
success.
what you want to end up with eventually. When you make it look when you make it look like
When
an
you make it
8-inch
right,
stick, yes,
and you're not us.
You'll eventually. Apparently, I suck at this too. Look at this, right? So
It ends up looking like
eventually,
that.
it'll end up where you just once you have that long stick, about 8 inches, you just put it in a little circle, just like this.
Yes.
Which is a
Easy.
traditional way. Or my family's way, which is with this twist. Either way,
You
or
put
if
a
you
twist
have
on
kids,
it.
you put
Put
a
a
twist on it.
twist.
That's right.
We did too,
If you have kids,
clearly.
then you can do any other shape you want. I don't really care what shape you do.
Sure.
But once you do the little shape, you would put it back on here, let it rise for another hour or two, depending on how warm you keep a room. And once it's risen, you'll know because it'll kind of change in size, it'll get bigger.
Okay.
You put it in the oven for close to an hour at 375. And when it
Oh.
goes in the oven for close to an hour at 375, you start to eyeball it,
Yeah.
and you will see it'll come out like this. It'll come out that golden brown color
Delicious.
that you're seeing in these different shapes, okay? So why don't you try one?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, try one and see
Yeah.
what you
Oh,
like. I know,
you're
we're
gonna-
not
you're gonna
doughy
have to
hands, we'll
all
see.
right,
us,
all
I
right,
think,
thank
yeah.
you.
They're gonna be crispy, that's how you should be.
Okay, crispy.
They're crispy, but they're kind of light. They're not like, I don't know, heavy. They're, well, with our mouths full, it's hard to say anything. But they're delicious.
And original
Yeah.
pretzels, long time ago, were soft. But in recent centuries, historically,
Yeah.
they became hard the way we know it. This is an example of that. It's crunchy, obviously.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Now, in the United States, our pretzels come primarily from German immigrants, which is the version that we have, which
Right.
is closer to the
Yes.
Austrian version.
Sure.
But, of course, this is a little bit different twist. Notice that both types of pretzels that we've talked about here today come here through immigration. In
Yeah.
the United States, immigrants bring their different cuisines
Sure.
and foods, and I know here in Northwest Arkansas, there's an array of lovely foods
Absolutely.
and cuisines because
Different
of all
cultures.
the different people that come together here.
Well, thank you for bringing this today,
Yes,
helping
thank
us
you.
celebrate National Pretzel Month. Yeah,
we'll
that's
keep
right.
trying.
Look at that. You can see the recipe right there. We're going to have that posted
That's
on
right.
our social media as well, so go check us out. Just find, like, and follow Good Day NWA.